Welcome to CineMyles, the show for cinephiles. I'm your host, Miles Hughes, and I watch a lot of movies. I've been catching up as best I can with all the late releases from 2016 in time for Oscar Crunch. I have not forgotten all the amazing looking movies that are coming out in the new year. So I thought it's just about time to go ahead and release my most anticipated films of the year list. Now, because there are so many, I decided to split it into two chunks. So this video is going to be the spring and summer releases that I'm most excited for this year. And I'll do the fall-winter companion video probably near the end of the summer. First up, A Cure for Wellness. Now, it's been way too long since Gore Verbinski directed a horror movie. For those of you who may remember, he did the remake of The Ring back in '02. This thing looks great. The trailers have been very ambiguous. There's a bit of a Shutter Island vibe, but in a good way. I think Dane DeHaan is a very interesting young character actor who hasn't quite found his niche yet, but these weirder kind of movies definitely seem more up his alley. Plus, Jason Isaacs doesn't get nearly enough work these days, and here he is as a crazy German scientist. That's fantastic. The imagery looks great, and there's a whole oppressive atmosphere and mood. I'm really excited for this one. Get Out. No, not you. Please, keep watching. Are you doing all right? Can I get you anything? This is the writing and directing debut of Jordan Peele, he of Key and Peele fame, and it's a horror movie with a bit of a Stepford Wives vibe, but for black people instead of housewives. It stars Sicario's Daniel Kaluuya as a black man dating a white woman who goes to meet her parents in the very white suburbs. Her parents are played by Bradley Whitford and Catherine Keener, who look like they're just having a ball. This whole thing looks weird and very unsettling, and looks like it's going to have a very strong and timely racial message. It's a weird concoction, but I love it, and I'm excited to see what Mr. Peele has come up with. Logan. Alright, now this one is primed to be my new favorite superhero movie, because my current favorite, The Dark Knight, does something that this one seems to be doing, which is that it is a grounded, realistic, down-to-earth, character-driven story that just happens to feature super characters. I really liked The Wolverine, where he goes to Japan. I don't think enough people give that film any credit, and it's the same creative team coming back here. This looks like the big final swan song, because Hugh Jackman's apparently not going to play the character anymore. So they're going out with a bang with a hard R-rated, bloody, gratuitous, awesome action fest that seems rooted in the character dynamics between Xavier, Logan, and this new little girl who is obviously X-23. I'm excited, partially for the closing of a chapter in the X-Men franchise, but also for the possibilities this film could eventually lead us to. Kong Skull Island. I know, it's a remake of a famous monster movie, who cares? And I didn't care that much about the last Godzilla film, which this shares a sort of extended universe with. But I don't know, the trailer and the poster have really sold me on this Apocalypse Now, Vietnam War era style vibe. I like the look of Kong, I like the look of all the monsters. It's got a great cast with Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, John C. Reilly, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson. You know, it probably won't be high art or anything, but it looks entertaining and looks like it's trying to put some sort of fresh twist on the monster movie. Free Fire. This comes to us from divisive British filmmaker Ben Wheatley, who just came off of High Rise and also did the infamous Kill List. In the film, some IRA members try to buy some guns from a gun dealer, and they all end up getting caught in a warehouse in a feature-length firefight. That's kind of all there is to it, but that's what I love about it. It's got a stacked cast, including Brie Larson, who we just saw in Kong, Cillian Murphy, Armie Hammer, and Sharlto Copley, and just looks like a very irreverent, action-packed, goofy little charming thing that probably won't amount to much, but will be an entertaining distraction in and of itself. The Fate of the Furious. First off, props to whoever came up with that title, because it is so dumb, it's amazing. This is a franchise where my fandom of it kind of snuck up on me. I thought the first one was okay, and 2 through 4 are kind of terrible. But then once The Rock came on board, since then they've just been so fantastically awesome. And I can't account for it, but like they're these crazy heist movies now. They basically are superheroes at this point. It's fine, it's great. In this one, Vin Diesel turns evil and has to fight all his family bros, and The Rock and Jason Statham have to team up with the rest of the crew, and Charlize Theron is there. And I guess Helen Mirren is in it, because if there's one thing the previous Fast and the Furious movies were missing, it's Helen Mirren. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Duh, right? The first one is so much fun, and this looks like more of the same. James Gunn is back writing and directing. We got the whole original cast. We got Kurt Russell playing Ego the Living Planet. how am I alive in a world where Kurt Russell is playing Ego the Living Planet in a major franchise blockbuster movie? It's nuts, but that's what's happening. And, you know, I look forward to rejoining these awesome characters again and going on new, exciting adventures. Speaking of that Marvel stamp of approval, we've also got SpiderMan Homecoming. I gotta say, I was super impressed with Tom Holland's take on Spider-Man that debuted in Civil War last year, and I'm really excited to see him anchor his own film. He's also got Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark in support. We got Michael Keaton as the Vulture, which is gonna be awesome. I like Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. I like pretty much everything that I've seen from this one. We only have the one trailer, but it looks great so far. I'm pumped to see more. Dunkirk. It's Christopher Nolan, so flaws and warts aside, you know it's going to be a big, practical effects-driven war flick, the kind of which we so rarely get these days. It's got a great ensemble cast, including Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, James D'Arcy, Cillian Murphy, and Mark Rylance. And as with most Christopher Nolan joints, most of the details are being kept close to the chest, which is impressive this time, because it's based on a true story. But I think it'll have plenty of his signature Hans Zimmer score, and editing that jumps all around and tries to make a linear story confusing. I love Nolan stuff. This is probably going to be a fun one, and if we're lucky, he'll have a bit more to say than just, hey, watch this really cool war movie I made. But if that's all we get, that's still pretty good. And finally, Valyrian and the City of 1,000 Planets. Okay, Fate of the Furious, I'm sorry, I gotta ask you to take back your award for title that's so dumb it's amazing, because this one just stole it. It's based on some French graphic novel that I've never heard of, but it comes to us from Luc Besson, who did The Fifth Element, which I just rewatched, and I gotta tell you, that movie is weird in the most awesome kind of way that you just don't see from mainstream sci-fi anymore. This one looks like a whole lot more of the same. Your boy Dane DeHaan is back, and he's joined with Cara Delevingne, Enchantress. And I love all the sci-fi tech in it and all the bizarre visual imagery and all the aliens. I'm hoping it doesn't turn into something so CGI heavy that we lose the humanity underneath, but if nothing else, there's a certain level of quirkiness and weirdness and a bizarre tone here that I'm really digging on. So there you have it. Those are the 10 films I'm most excited for in the spring of summer. What are you excited for? Please post in the comments and let me know. And hey guys, open invitation. If you got something you want to hear me talk about, just let me know, and there's a pretty good shot that I'll do it. Thank you as always for watching CineMyles. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Have a good one.